Hi, Melanie Rose Rogers. Just here to drop some education on you and also show my support for a local nonprofit called Cannabis Clinicians Colorado. They are a group that has brought the Marijuana for Medical Professionals Conference. It's a conference that happens every other year. It just happened in November of 2016, and we're looking to start planning for 2018. So, I'd like to talk to you today about a significant event happening this Sunday in Colorado called Are You Impaired? Cannabis Research Day. And what's great about this event is that we, as CCC, are looking to look at THC blood levels and saliva levels versus cognitive function in self-reported impaired and non-impaired cannabis users. And so you might ask, well, why should I be involved, or why should I care, Mel? And I'm here to tell you that, right now, first off, you might have read I think the Cannabis wrote about it recently, of how Jeff Sessions and the federal government has put a halt on cannabis research. Actually, they're coming out and cracking down. There's actually some new propaganda out there where they're showcasing really old studies and saying all these things about the cannabis industry and consumers. So this is really a creative and proactive way for the cannabis industry to get involved. And this data will help elevate our industry. So what happens, to a consumer or a medical marijuana patient that is found over the influence of THC, let's say pulled over or something like that? Right now, the levels are 5 nanograms. 5 nanograms. So, as you're probably assuming, any medical marijuana patient has more than 5 nanograms in their system. And yet that is the arbitrary limit that Colorado has. So, and that's not based on science. So what we're really doing is looking at, participants in the study. We are going to look at their saliva, blood. They're going to take a computerized cognitive test as well as a field sobriety test, similar to the ones that you do if you're ever caught drunk driving, or someone was driving and you were in the passenger seat. It's that cognitive test to determine whether you are impaired. And so after that participant comes in and takes a baseline of this data, and we're actually going to have nurses and doctors performing these tests, that participant will go up on a bus and legally consume cannabis, and then come back and take the same test over again. So you see, this creates now the impaired state levels. And what we're, as CCC, is hoping to achieve is that they're going to look at the correlation between THC levels found in blood, saliva, and cognitive test. So why is this significant, and why should we care? One, like I said, Jeff Sessions isn't funding this. Neither is our government. Universities are slowly coming on board, and if that, there's, industrial hemp research, that's being done. This is something that's actually being done this Sunday. And, if you wanted to participate in it, please look beyond what you're getting just for that event sponsorship. This is actually a chance for the cannabis industry, stakeholders, business owners, product makers, employees, retailers, medical marijuana centers, to actually fund an observational study happening here in Colorado. So that's one way, is let's be proactive. Let's show everyone that the cannabis industry is responsible and that we care about the guidance we give patients and consumers on what impaired driving looks like. Right now, if you're caught over 5 nanograms, you actually have to take DUI classes. And you have to, in some cases, get a breathalyzer installed in your vehicle, which is costly and really unnecessary if, say, you don't even partake in alcohol and you are a medical marijuana patient. Or say, for example, you're, hit with someone and they want to, come after you for being high. And here you are being treated like someone that has a DUI. Another reason why I believe that this is important to people in the industry is that every legislative session so far, and I'm at the Capitol pretty frequently, our THC levels are threatened. Our, rights as patients and consumers are constantly threatened, and we are constantly on the defense. So what this does is actually provides data that perhaps we can arm ourselves with as policy is developed and, amendments are in place. We can actually have data to arm ourselves for once and be on the proactive side and the responsible side of how we give guidance on THC impairment. Another reason why this is so important is that as an industry, you can actually, or a cannabis business owner, you can actually fund this. This is something more significant than your, dab off or your, cup, where we're really looking at, products and how high they make you get, or, just a contest of who has the best products. This actually gives back to the medical community and also patients and shows that we're responsible. So frequently people ask me, well, what do I get for this event? It's you got to look beyond the event itself and the research that's going to come out of this. And I challenge you to care and be compassionate in how we're going to advise emerging markets that are coming on board with recreational, how we're going to advise on the topic of impaired driving. And what are those, what happens to you if you're caught under the influence? I frankly don't believe it should be treated like alcohol. DUI classes when you're not, caught under the influence of alcohol. There's really, I think, nothing in place. So this kind of, proactively gets us moving in that direction of talking about these things that matter. So how do you get involved? You can contact me and I can send you a press release. I can send you the sponsorship form. I can talk to you about Cannabis Clinicians Colorado and why it's important that we support the medical community among doctors and, again, people looking for more information that's research and medically focused. And just, if you're curious, let me tell you that to fund one participant, and we are still looking for participants, is $350. And that covers their test taken twice, to create the baseline in the impaired state, and then the research and analysis. So as this event is happening on Sunday, more importantly, there is funding needed for testing and analysis. This is a study that I believe that we should support. I support it, and I'm hoping that there's people out there that care about this type of research. If you sponsor this, you can, there's a level that also includes your annual membership to Cannabis Clinicians Colorado. This actually, and you can do what you want with the content and the participation. Anyone participating will get, or participating in a sponsorship will get a certificate acknowledging your support. And that's it. So just, give me a shout. You can also email mjformds@gmail.com for more information. Should you want to look at more at the methodology, we have that information as well. Thank you. And again, come support this event on Sunday. Thanks.